Right in the heart of Newtown, between the Saibono Science Center and Museum Africa, lies the Workers' Museum. Thank you for staying with Morning Live and welcome to the Art Bulletin. This week saw the official launch of the 34th Durban International Film Festival. Of Good Report, which is a film by South African director Jamil Kubeka, was the program launcher and is set to raise curtains at this year's event.
The programming is quite similar to the legacy that has been established for the festival. It's maybe slightly edgier this year. And perhaps not as many big mainstream classic films. The other thing that we're doing, for the first year this year, we're actually showing some older films. Films from film history. We're getting Jamil Kubeka to curate a small section called The Films That Made Me, and he will be presenting 5 films that have been really influential in his growth as a filmmaker.
Tonight, Johannesburg's classical music lovers will be wowed by one of the world's leading violinists at the Linda Auditorium. Award-winning Sarah Cheng will perform alongside the KZN Philharmonic Orchestra.
Well, I hope they really enjoy the concert. We've already done this program in Cape Town and in Durban, and this is an incredible orchestra that I'm working with, a wonderful conductor, and this is also my first time in Johannesburg, so I'm really excited to be here. It's a beautiful program. I'm playing the Sibelius Concerto, which is one of my absolute favorites, and it's just when you're in a new city, there's always this excitement surrounding it, so I'm so happy to be here. And for me, music is a part of my everyday life. It's sort of like an athlete, every day they do have to work out. So for me, every day music needs to be a part of my life.
He recently performed alongside the legendary Salif Keita at a festival in Reunion Islands. Last week, he was in Mozambique for the ASGO Festival. This week, young folk musician Bongeziwe Mabandla was handpicked to perform at the Festival d'Île-de-France. It takes place in Paris in September.
I'm a young musician. My CD came out last year, so it's really amazing that so early on I get to perform at an international festival. It's very humbling. I think what people love about Bongeziwe is that he's doing music that is authentically South African and that comes from South Africa with a very traditional feel. I think it kind of excites people. Yeah. The world is responding very well, specifically South Africa. I've been getting a lot of support. But playing in Paris, and I've just played in Reunion Island, I think that's evidence to show that the world is embracing the album and embracing the sound.
The Imputuzeko Maskandi Festival is set to take place today at the Curries Fountain Stadium. Known as the 4th best-selling genre, Maskandi is set to bring musicians from all over the country together.
Maskandi music is one of the most famous indigenous form of music, and a lot of people in this sector, a majority of them are people who are not necessarily very highly educated, and you find that their music is not highly regarded as well, so they then end up failing to make a living out of this music. But if we have projects like this, where we then take the Maskandi music and give it a platform as big as this, then we get to get the youth to really appreciate this type of music.
Writer Carol Ann Davids is launching her debut book today at the University of Johannesburg. The Blacks of Cape weaves a narrative that shifts between the past and the present and contemporary South African and American politics.
It is a provocative title because, of course, it has a double meaning. The family that the book features, their surname is Black, so that's one aspect, but race is a major theme of the novel, and I look at race both in the USA and in South Africa, because I think race is still something. It's always the elephant in the room. It is always something which, unfortunately, it's 2013, but it's still a major issue in our social discourse.
2013 Summer Award winner and celebrated bassist Hebi Tswaedi will be live at the Sophiatown Jazz Encounters tonight. If you've heard his album African Time, or if you've heard him play with any other jazz musician, you know this one is worth going to.
The contribution that he's made to the jazz culture and just the live music scene, he's played with the likes of Bozimqawana, Bofeya Faku, Bo Makoy Mkhobata. So I think, yes, he he has played a very pivotal role in just making the music come alive and just keeping it alive, and also making sure that he spreads it even to the younger generations, hence the young lions that are now, sometimes playing with him.
A few weeks ago, an exhibition of works by his late grandfather was on at the Fada Gallery. Last week, his mother displayed her works at the Bamboo Gallery in Melville. Now it's time for visual artist Jonasek to show us what he's made of.
Jonasek is a master drawer. He works primarily in ink, on paper, and he is very fond of making small little drawings which he spliced together so it almost looks like a comic book. And in his latest exhibition he has also gone further than that, where he makes installations, also paper-based. He takes these drawings, huge sheets of them, he films the individual frames, and then he sequences it in a slide projector show. So it becomes much more than just the two-dimensional drawing. It becomes something visual, something sculptural as well.
Jonasek's Philosopher Kings ends on the 13th of July at Art on Paper Gallery in Johannesburg. From the Workers' Museum out in Newtown, Johannesburg, that's how we come to the end of today's Art Bulletin. There's more info about the museum on the City of Joburg website. The address is www.joburg.com. Morning Live at sabc.co.za by email. Our Facebook page is The Art Bulletin, and in brackets, Morning Live. Our Twitter handle is simply @The Art Bulletin. Until tomorrow morning, it's a goodbye from us.